Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast with Emmy Hikins and Trevor.
There would always be a steady conflict on, what you want to do, what she wants to do, and how she views this and how you view that. It's just too much headache. I mean, I would do it when I was younger, because you don't really take into account these things when you're younger. You just think, but now I don't think so. I wouldn't.
No, and I think in a way the big dilemma possibly for you and for many people, if we're talking of values, what values? But let's say somebody is of a Christian outlook, a believing outlook in any religion actually, Jewish and all the others. If one is a believer and the other one is an atheist, completely disagrees with any belief about that might be where the problem could lie. And I think the question was, is it possible to fall in love with, or can you fall in love with somebody who has different values? Well, of course, as I think you touched on when you said about the heart, in a way we get no choice, do we? I mean, we could say, is love real? Is it a feeling, or is it a chemical change? Some people call it an affliction, where when people fall in love, it's almost like some sort of an illness, because you undergo a lot of kind of almost bodily changes and mental changes. It's almost like you lose your appetite, or other things, you don't sleep properly. So it's kind of almost hormonal changes in the body, and we don't really get a lot of choice. So if we find we've fallen for somebody who is significantly outside of our own general values of honesty, of maybe of belief, then in a way we don't get any choice. And if we then think, well, I've done the pros, I've done the cons, this person's very much on the con side, the negative considerations, and I'm just going to say no, sorry, and march off again into that lonely place of the self-righteous mountain, and one could deny oneself a lot of happiness, a lot of pleasure. But yeah, it's on paper, in theory at least, it's probably right to say not many people would want to continue a relationship if it became clear that the value difference, the values, your standards are totally different, from the other person. But maybe sometimes we can't always get past that. If somebody really means a lot to you, it may have to sort of go its course, and then things naturally go wrong or whatever. So if we're thinking of this thing we call love, is it more about giving or more about receiving?
Right. I think it should be more about more about giving. That's what it should be. It should be more about giving, because if your heart is filled with love, you feel gratitude towards the other person. You feel a sense of appreciation, and so it makes you want to give. But then when it becomes about receiving, you need to question you need to really question what you're in it for. If it's about receiving, if you just want to receive from this person. So yeah,
not just want to receive. I mean, that's the other end of the spectrum. But do you think receiving is part of love as well as giving?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But it doesn't have to be, when you say receiving, it doesn't have to be in a physical, anything of a physical nature. It doesn't have to be that. It could be your time, your feelings as well. You compromise on things. That is also, giving. And receiving would be to then get that back. And that's when it's working. Yeah. Although some people just want to give and give and give. And that works for them, But I think it's about giving and receiving, and it doesn't have to be anything monetary. It could be just a feel good message. You know, when you're down, you
Yeah.
need someone, and they give you that good vibe. I think that's in order. I would
I
think.
mean, to bring it to a very sort of superficial thing, if you're going out, say, with a new person you're going out with, and you have meals together, I think as a bloke, as a guy, I've always taken the view I'll pay for the meal, certainly the first few, and it would always be my sort of chivalrous instinct to say, yeah, I'll pay for the meal. But sometimes a woman will say, no, I'm going to pay, let me pay this time. And I do think, not just with that simple example, but part of love is to.
We're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor Gear and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.